Guys, Vosteed Knives sent me another knife, and I haven't even looked at it. I know what it is. We're going to take a look at another one of their mini knives. It's the Raccoon Cub. So let's turn this around and take a look at it. All right, guys, like I said in the intro, another new package from Vosteed, but you can see Mr. Postman was not kind with this. But before we crack into this, really, I want to remind you guys the best thing you can do for this channel is like, share, and subscribe, and maybe drop a comment. See if you like any of the options down below, because I am self-sponsored with all the affiliate links. So, like I said, this is the Vosteed Raccoon. I'm pretty sure it's the Raccoon Cub. So this is the Raccoon Cub, and they sent it to me, asked me if I want to take a look at it, and it is one of their smaller, like, mini knives. I think this is a smaller version. Well, actually, I know it's a smaller version of this knife, the Vosteed Raccoon. I forgot I still had these. As a matter of fact, forgot about this. This is actually Jared over at Knives Knives. Jared, if you watch this, man, I got to get these knives back to you. I apologize. So let's get this out of the way. And let's do some initial first impressions, just a quick look at it. Now, this is a thumb stud and front flipper only. There is no back flipper. The thumb studs on this are really cool. Now, this is done in G10 with a liner lock. Now, this is a much, much smaller version of a knife that I really, really liked. This thing has got some really, really good action. So 14C28N, I love the fact that most of the knives that I'm getting from Vosteed are in 14C28N. It's one of my all-time favorite steels. You see, brand new out of the box. Haven't even wiped the oil off of it yet. You've got a reversible pocket clip that is fairly deep carry. I have not even had this in pocket yet. You guys watch me just open it. Steel liners on this. Let me see. Can I get a good view in here for you guys to see? There's a good bit of weight reduction on this side. Not so much on the lock side, but that makes sense. It's a smaller knife. In hand, it's about a 2.5 finger grip for me, unless I get up here and then I've got about 3.5. Nicely shaped blade. This is a nice small knife that would be really good for a lot of small duty tasks. You've got good jimping. I love to say this, good jimping on this knife in 2 separate places. You got it back here, and then you've got it up here. Very, very good thought process on that. That's where you're gonna put your hands. In hand, for as small as it is, it's still really comfortable. It doesn't feel unstable. It doesn't feel like I don't have enough knife in my hand. It reminds me a lot of how the Cold Steel Tough Light feels in hand, as far as really small knife, really good grip. Nice coating on this blade. We're gonna see it's got a little bit of a stone wash on it. So hopefully that coating will hold up better than if it was just the matte. And you've got good texture on the G10, but then they chamfered these edges so it doesn't feel sharp. There's a few knives out there that you'll get these G10 and they'll just be flat all the way across, and then that just feels sharp in hand. Jimping on that, but it's not bad. A lot of times I complain about jimping on a lock bar like that, but it's not bad. It's not too sharp, and it's enough that you've got really good purchase on that, on what is already a very small knife. And I say small, this thing is coming in open length of 5 3/4. It's not even 6 inches. So seems to have a pretty good behind the edge profile. I don't see any issues with the edge grind. And then this nice sloping area here. This doesn't have a lot of flat, but it's also not too heavily radiused that you're not going to be able to do a lot of things with it. It seems like this would be a really good knife for small. I say this sometimes and people laugh about it. This would be a nice little knife for small game. You've got enough belly that you can get that done, but it's also not. You've got really good control. What I'm saying, it's not too big. That's what in an outdoor and skinning knife, that's what you want. You want a lot of space here, and then a shorter blade, because you've got much, much better control. I said about the Pocket Monster and a couple other knives that have come out recently that these would be good options. Reversible pocket clip, and they milled that out really nicely so that pocket clip's not going to move. It's down in there. It's not surface mounted, even on a small knife like this. And then Vosteed just seems to get it right all the time. The front flipper is not bad. It's on a smaller knife. For me, it's not perfect, but I'm sure a lot of people would have no problem with that. So I have noticed a couple small things just playing around with it here since we started and we'll talk about those real quick. It's just the first impressions. You know, I've only had it in hand the amount of time you've seen. And I've noticed just a couple small things in those few minutes. So real quick, let's flip this around and do flip side of the knife, flip side of the story. All right, a pocket clip on a small knife like this is pretty proud. It's because it's a smaller knife that it feels out of sorts for me, but I definitely feel like if I was going to do any bearing down and cutting, you can see that line from the pocket clip. I think that pocket clip would be a hot spot. I honestly think that would bother me a lot in the cut. The pocket clip is pretty proud on a small knife. It's not so much here, that line, but that's what I feel is right. Well, actually, I feel the whole thing. I really do feel the whole thing. Up here, it's not as bad, but it's still definitely going to be a hot spot. The G10, I can tell right now that this is some of that really aggressive G10. It's going to tear up pockets. So not saying that's a bad thing. You want a grippy knife, especially on a smaller knife like this. But what I would probably do is I would probably just take a piece of sandpaper and this area under the pocket clip, I would just scuff that and just reduce the aggressiveness of that, because that's just going to rip up pockets. The next thing, I don't think I would have wanted the jimping in here. I don't need it. I don't want that jimping in there. It's not like it's really aggressive and you can definitely feel it and that it's proud. I think that doesn't need to be there. There's no reason for that. You've already got really good purchase on that. And then last thing, I think while they're attractive, I think I would have wanted just black on these thumb studs, just to go with the rest of the knife being all black. They are an attractive color. And then the final thing, this has got some hard edges, which means you've got some hard corners, and you can feel that when you've got it in hand. Your fingers just kind of drop into that. I would have wanted a plate with a couple screws, because on top of that, there's nothing in here to keep dirt and stuff from getting down in those holes. But other than that, those are just little things. And it's a smaller knife, so like access to the lock bar is limited. So I'm not going to really call that out. And it's not that it's limited, it's just the size of my hands. A small knife like this just really doesn't, it doesn't a lot of times work for me. But that's not a down mark on that, because it's, you know, it's just a small knife. There's not much else that you could do. It's not that you don't have access, it's the position it's in, because it's so small when I go to disengage the lock. So, but first impressions so far, I'm digging it. It's a yup. I like the raccoon, the mini raccoon, or the raccoon pup, I should say. Not bad at all. I dig it. We're gonna see like first hand pockets and then a longer carry. I have several other Vosteed knives. As a matter of fact, I got so many Vosteed knives here at the house, I could start my own Vosteed shop. So big shout out to Vosteed for sending this along. I absolutely love the fact that they're working well with me and stuff like that. So guys, let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day. There you go, guys. Cool little knife. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it yet, but it's definitely a nice little folder. It's a very small one. So we're going to carry this for a while and see how I feel about it after it's actually been carried. So stand by for a first day in pocket, or a first few days in pocket, now that I'm not filming every day. So guys, you know what to do. I talked about it in the video. Like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit the bell icon. I am self-sponsored. There are a ton of affiliate links down below, including an Amazon store. Take those links, use them to buy stuff. Take the Amazon store, pin it to your browser. 2 of those links down there have discounts built in them. If you want really good coffee and amazingly strong shoelaces, check out Coffee Brand Coffee and Tempered Trail. Tempered Trail has more than just that. There's hand-stitched wallets that are like made to order. There's only certain numbers that are available at any time, but check that out. Like I said, the Amazon store, take that, pin it to your browser. I also have discount codes at Fair & Forged Knife Works, KATSU Knives, and Rosecraft Blades. It'll save you 10% at any one of those 3, 10% off your order. Don't forget to check that out. I have a membership down below where you can get in on exclusive stuff that I do. There's a list of the benefits for that. And I have a public Discord where it says join the community. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I'll see you in the next video.